Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune in to the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. Don't worry, Nat will be joining us very shortly. She's just been on another stream, so she'll be with us in a mo, hopefully. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, Mais. As always, an absolute pleasure to have you on. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And thank you for having me on.
I'm good. I'm shattered, and I'm glad it's Friday tomorrow, but I'm doing very well, thank you. I'll delve into the chat in a minute because I see a few people saying hello in there. Yeah, plenty to talk about. I guess I'm thinking, where should we really start? In the background, I've got the Wolves Arsenal game on, so I'll let you guys know if there's any updates on that as well, and if there's any goals. 0-0 at the moment. But yeah, Burnley, bloody Burnley.
I just
so frustrating. Honestly, I could believe it. That's the thing. I could believe it. And by the way, guys, Nat is joining us very shortly. In case you're wondering, where there's a picture there. She's not here. She's joining us very shortly. She will be with us. But yeah, Burnley, as you know, I hate playing against Burnley. Burnley at Turf Ball, I always say it. It's just so annoying. It's just so frustrating because in the first half, and as you know, I was at a concert, so I didn't fully watch the game. I had it on my phone until the day Nat came on, so I managed to watch the first half. And seeing the amount of chances we missed again, the goals disallowed, I wasn't shocked to see that we'd dropped points yet again. I mean, Maze, what was your thoughts watching it? Like, how would you summarise it?
You know what? A lot of people do say the game was completely two different halves. Some people say it's a bit like chalk and cheese, and you know what? I would agree with that comment because the first half, I would actually say we played considerably well. I actually thought I was getting that kind of excitement about Edinson Cavani making it start for Manchester United because a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but as an overall striker, Edinson Cavani is probably better off playing there than Cristiano Ronaldo, especially knowing the form he's been on at this moment in time. So I was hoping maybe that a little bit of change there and seeing Elanga being dropped for Rashford and, of course, Sancho playing there too. Everyone wanted a Rashford and Sancho link up. And I thought Edinson Cavani playing as well, this is going to be quite good. Apart from that, there wasn't that major changes, minus, of course, Alex Telles, who's out due to the coronavirus, and Fred being out due to coronavirus as well. The first half, we did make quite a few shots on there. Rashford, he had 3 shots on target. Bruno had a couple of shots on target as well. And Cavani didn't really make that impact, but I was glad to see there Shaw getting his assist. It was good there as well that Sancho, he's looking a lot more brighter. He's looking, a lot more confident because I think the top isn't as heavy on Sancho as what it was originally at the start of the season. And to be honest, that was the only positive I could take away from that game, that Sancho's confidence is getting a lot better because that second half, there was literally it was awful, absolutely awful. And the way we actually defended that goal, that was awful defending, both off Maguire and Shaw. I'm not gonna say it was just one and not the other because it was both of them. And I'd even say that De Gea could have been a little bit better in saving that. So I think the second half we just completely switched off. And if Manchester United want to be first half FC and they want to switch off in the second half, do your best in the first half and actually make them couple of goals instead of making these disallowed goals, these offside runs, and actually putting shots on target or 30 shots off target.
Yeah, it's not like we didn't have the chances. And there's a saying in there, like, you'd be concerned if you weren't creating the chances. To be fair, we have been creating them, we just haven't been finishing them. And surely it's only a matter of time before Ronaldo, Cavani, Rashford. Look at these players. Surely they need to be taking these chances. But firstly, big up to Nat. She's joined us. Nat, thank you for jumping in. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. Sorry I'm a bit late, but yeah. I just come in late and I just heard what Maisie's saying about, you know, the Sancho looks good and he looked good, you know, first half versus Villa, first half FC. But let's bang in these goals. Stop. I mean, what I will say is that second goal, oh my God, can't believe. I don't understand why that was disallowed. But it is what it is. VAR, we all know it's not the best. But, you know, like you say, the second half was just nothing. It was just, you know, we were so dominant in that first half. Why couldn't we, you know, but then we come out just looking a bit like brainless, you know, brainless. That's what that's why they scored. And, you know, Burnley have been losing games at the bottom of the table, and we just, you know, handed them a prize, really. It's not good enough.
Yeah, and they're always going to be up for it. Burnley, we said they're fighting for their lives. They want to stay up. It's Manchester United. They're always up for it against us anyway. The keeper always has a worldie every single game, no matter who's in goal. We had to be up for it, and we said to him it's not going to be an easy game. There's no easy game in the Premier League anyway, but especially if you're playing against those who are fighting relegation. You know, Sean Dyche has done a great job with their squad there. And it's just frustrating. I do want to add that Arsenal are 1-0 up. I think it was Gabriel who scored. There was a VAR check, but it looks like it's standing. So, yeah, Arsenal are 1-0 up. But they're not taking the chances is really concerning. But like I say, I think in the past we've been more concerned because we've been thinking we're not creating those chances. We're not breaking teams down. Now it's the point where we are making the chances and we're not hitting the back of the net. And it's just so frustrating when you see the quality of the players that we have got. And look, we've got another tough game at the weekend. We've got Southampton. And again, I mean, they stunned Spurs the other day. They've obviously got goals in their team as well. And we simply can't keep dropping these points, can we? We're not going to get away with it forever. Down to Ronaldo's goals, we set at the start of the season that we're in the position that we are in because our performances simply have not been good enough. But yeah, like, who would you say your standout players were for that Burnley game? Because like I say, I saw the first half. I was watching Corrupt FM, so apologies, but I missed the second half. But yeah, from what I saw, Pogba looked quality in that first half. Sancho, you've already mentioned there, has been a bright spot for the last few games. But Maze, I'll start with you on that one. Like, who would you say our standouts were?
There was a couple of standout players, don't get me wrong. Sancho for me was definitely a standout player. He did make 2 overall shots. They weren't on target with 2 overall shots. In the first half, he actually had a passing success of 100%. He didn't give the ball away once. And it did overall in the end turn to 91%. He made quite a couple of dribbles there as well. I think he was brilliant. So Sancho was a standout one for me. Another standout as well was definitely Varane. I think Varane was brilliant in terms of his defending. A lot of people
I was gutted his goal didn't stand.
Yes.
Gutted.
I was gutted as well. And the thing is, Maguire was both as well as offside. He was also making that small foul in the box, and you can't be doing things like that when you have got a set piece. I was finally happy, thinking, right, finally we've actually scored a set piece goal, only for it to be out as disallowed. And I was literally so fuming for Varane. But with Varane, I think he played brilliantly. I think his defensively was great. And one more player I did want to point out was Paul Pogba. I think Paul Pogba has came well coming back into the team. He come across for me quite strong on the ball. It just felt like as well when you see Burnley players trying to foul Paul Pogba. One in particular was actually in the second. I think it was in the second half, and it was Brownhill. He actually tried to tug Pogba, tried to put him down, but Paul Pogba, despite him anyway getting a free kick, he stayed on his feet and he still wanted to try and carry on with the ball to try and get it to the net as quickly as possible. And that's the kind of players I like. I like these kind of players like Paul Pogba, who is able to be that physically strong, who is able to try his best to try and help the team out. So I think Paul Pogba, despite everything I have said about Paul Pogba in the past, I think he's played 2 brilliant games, both for Middlesbrough and for Burnley.
Yeah, definitely. Andrew said here we dropped 11 points from winning positions this season, an area that needs to be addressed quickly. That sums us up, though, I think. Like we said, we're creating chances and whatnot, but even when we do seem dominant, like in that first half against Burnley, we still give them glimpses. We still, like, our own mistakes. We're still far too open on the counter-attack. Do you know what I mean? I think we're still, at the end of the day, we're our own worst enemy. And defensively, even when we look in control in terms of we've got a lot of the ball and whatnot, I still think we look like we're liable to make a mistake at the back now.
Yeah, we're always going to give a team a chance. And I didn't want to think it. I was watching that first half thinking, you know, God, this is bloody good. This is Man United. This is the football I want to see. You know, Pogba was actually playing, and I've been critical of Pogba. I do think he turns it on and off. I don't like to see that. I want you to see, this is, you know, if you want to be considered the best player in the world, you need to be putting in those performances week in, week out. And, He doesn't do it enough.
Yeah.
But I think Sancho's really come around and really, looking like the player. I mean, some of his skill, even against Borough, just some of his the way he's moving his body, the way he's finding the positions now. I feel like that's the player we signed, and that's what I want to see. I like Bruno. People are saying Delort, Varane, all quality players, and it's like you say, it's just that one little thing that we've still got, and it's like, we had the mistake happened, right? Where, people are saying, well, you can blame them, but it happened. But then I just feel like we can't raise it up again. It should be right, we made a mistake, boom, let's go again, let's do it again. But then it's just like, all right, we're just playing it out kind of thing, rather than, let's get back to where we were at the first half. But why are we not coming into it second half going bam, 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 bam? This is where we've been at. Let's stay at that top mentality. It's like we sort of step it off, or we've seen even last year, we didn't start well, but then we put the foot on the gas. Why aren't we on the gas 24/7, 7 days a week? And that's just the frustration that's been United throughout for a very long time. And, like you say, mentality, I don't know who's gonna bring it. Ralph has come in and he's not quite calling out players, but, and all
he's got no loyalty to them, has he?
No. So he's
always
just saying what it is, and then you've seen the players come out, and I was watching BT in the build-up. I like to watch my build-up, and they were saying, I'm not going back to Fergie, but under Man United, you've seen people come out and sort of challenge him. He's a manager. You don't challenge the manager. Who are you? Yeah. And I think then what we've seen though with the fans, a lot of fans, some fans have sided with the players, but more fans are saying, listen, this is what you do. This is you're at Man United. You should have a bit of pride in yourself to want to put in good performances, but you're playing with that badge on your chest. No, it means how much we'd all around the world love to be where you are. Have a bit of respect for not only the fans but yourself. I just feel like they're too spoiled. I don't know.
You're spot on, mate. Honestly, I want to say firstly, big up to Meg. Meg obviously is a member of Ladies in Red. She will be joining us very soon. Spoke to Meg today. Thanks for jumping in. And we know she's a centre back, so she's going to come out with the old cliche. Defenders winning titles. We keep saying, like, even when we're in control, when we look like we've got a lot of the ball defensively, I do not have the confidence that we're going to keep a clean sheet, that we're going to see it through. And you're spot on, Meg. We want to see attacking football, but we want to see a balance. That we want to see us being able to nullify the counter attacks. And quite simply, there's too many gaps. We can't do that. Even against Burnley, we've seen us being carved open from a counter attack. It just should not be happening. It shouldn't be happening at all. And in terms of mentality, how long have we said this? How long have we said question the mentality of these players? When the going gets tough, do these players really want it? And I think you're right. The second that there's a setback, a team equalises, or a decision goes against us, it is like the heads drop. We need who's going to lift these players, and who's going to lift these? Is it Ralph, or is it down to the players individually? And I think for too long we've blamed the manager. We've said the manager isn't getting these players up for the game. But as you've mentioned, that you're wearing that crest on your chest, you should be thinking, you know what, I don't need to be getting up for this game. Naturally, you should be up for that game. And especially you want to prove a point after the negativity around the club. There are rumours have been coming about these players not wanting to train until dark and whatnot. I've read today that apparently the players are saying they prefer Pochettino as the next manager. Why are the players having to say about who the next manager is? Mate, I can't grasp that.
No, I can't grasp that neither, to be fairly honest. And I think, right, I actually read this as well myself. Players want Poch and Ralph wants Ten Hag. And I was looking at it thinking, what players ever come out and said that they want Poch? I would love to know with these journalists, whoever does come out and say, name the players who want Poch. Is it Ronaldo who wants Poch? Is it Dean Henderson, for instance, who wants Poch? I would love to know of what players do actually do want Poch. And if that is the case, and near enough all the players want Poch, and I look at it, for instance, and I think, is this down to mentality as well? To look at Ten Hag's Ajax, you know how well structured it is. And I can imagine Ten Hag to be such a disciplined kind of manager as well. And I think that, as Natalie has touched on, spoil and also player power, to think, who asked you to make your impact of your input of who you want as a manager? No, you're a player. You get paid 250k a week, and that should be as simple as that. You perform on the pitch instead of, as I see it, 70 shots on goal, 33 goals in the matter of a couple of games. So yeah, absolutely disgusting. And I do look at, I think, do you want Poch as well? Because he doesn't have this mentality like Ten Hag does? Is it because he is a little bit more softer on his players? Because we've seen that he hasn't managed to battle these egos at the likes of PSG. Are we seeing that he is more of a, people would say, yes man when it comes to transfers and it comes to changing his squad around? It's like he wants to please the players. And is that why they want Poch as something as a little bit easier for them? If you want me to be honest, if I had 250k a week like these footballers did, I wouldn't mind what manager I had. I'd be absolutely satisfied. Apart from the money in itself, you should want to be happy with whoever you have got, because you're a Manchester United player and you'd want the best for your team. And I look at it and think, imagine if you was from Australia and you could only ever afford one Manchester United game because the tickets prices have gone scandalous. You look at that and think, this is my only opportunity to watch Manchester United, and you see this poor performance against Burnley, for instance, and think, why have I bothered paying the ticket prices? Why have I bothered paying my hotel? And why have I bothered to pay for flights to watch this awful game? And I know I'm saying don't do it just for these players who are coming abroad, but I'm saying to do it for the fans. If you don't want to, if you don't like the manager, you don't like the club, do it for your fans and do it for the badge.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen enough of that, have we? You mentioned earlier that turning it on and off. I think we've seen that far too often. Turning it on and off. Not even like game by game, by half. Like literally one half we could. I can't remember the last time we had a consistent 90 minutes where I've been satisfied with the performance. Literally, I cannot remember that. Can you girls remember the last time we had a 90-minute performance where we thought, you know what, that was solid? That I can't think.
Start of the season, maybe, or even then.
Even then,
little,
we can see
yeah.
You know what I mean? And they could have scored 3 or 4. Even the Newcastle game, they could have scored 3 or 4. Like, we got lucky on them occasions. I genuinely cannot think of the last time I was fully satisfied. And don't get me wrong, I like to see us scoring goals and whatnot. But as Meg touched on there, at the same time that the other end, you want to be keeping the door shut. And even against Leeds, like if they were more clinical, that could have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
It could have been a different outcome. And I just feel like we rode our luck for far too long. And now finally, it's hit the fan and it's out there. Like we can see that it was always going to come to a head. And I think we're at that point now and it could go either way from here. I like what Ralph's doing. I like the fact he's coming in and he's being disciplined. He's trying to turn things around. He's being organised. He wants the players to be working harder. Because at the end of the day, that's the basics. If nothing else, if you're in bad form, we want to see you running your arse off and we want to see you fighting for that badge. And I think too many times you've seen players shrugging their shoulders, head down, and not reacting in the right way. And I just think, as a fan, as Maze has mentioned, you're spending a lot of money, but it doesn't even come down to that. It's your club, it's your passion, is it? It's more than that. Like literally, Manchester United dictates my mood every week, every weekend. Do you know what I mean? If we lose, then I'm on a complete downer. And that's what worries me now, because I went to a concert the other night and I missed the game. And even afterwards, when I checked, like, obviously I was checking the score throughout the performance when I could. And when we dropped points, I'm not even shocked anymore. I barely felt anything. Because I was just like, you know what? It is what it is. Like I'm sick of feeling like so disconnected from the club that I absolutely love, and I've never felt so disconnected from this club now.
No, I just think I watch it, and like I said, I was so excited. I mean, people are like, "Why are you getting excited? It's Burnley," but I don't care. I was getting excited. It was good football. It was nice. You know, I mean, even I was a bit disheartened from the 2 goals that got choked off, because the first one maybe, but the second one, I think that was a goal. I don't understand, I don't get it either. But I don't understand. We've seen, when even like people were posting images of goals that we've had, given for, and there's worse. There was one where they're like clawing someone's face and they were jumping all over Lindelof, but it's given. And I didn't understand that.
Was the one against West Brom, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't understand that. But yeah, like you say, we were playing so well. Yeah, bit disheartened, but I thought, right, we'll come out, we're on top of these, we'll batter these, and that's what we should be doing. And we're on close to doing it, but they just, head's gone, and then that's it, boom, finished. And then as soon as they scored, I thought, that's it. No. Why should I think like that? Why should I think it's over?
Whereas in the past, we'd have been like, right, come on then, let's get back out.
Attack. You just know it's over.
Yeah.
Like when Middlesbrough 1-1, and you just thought, well, they're going to win on penalties. You know what I'm saying? And I think in my head, I've watched this game before. We've watched it when we played Louis van Gaal. It's the same stuff. We've seen it, and it's sad. It's embarrassing, and I get what you're saying, because I've seen it under Moyes, I've seen it under Louis van Gaal, I've seen it under Jose, I've seen it under Ole, I'm seeing it under Ralph now, and whoever comes in next, I'm going to see, when is it going to stop? When are we, I feel like I saw something on Twitter, and it's like the tail is wagging the dog, and does the dog even know what it's doing? And the tail just wants to run it, it's just, who is running this club? Who knows what's going on? Because for me, I
think the one thing is evident. You mentioned there all the managers that we've had, and the fact we've seen the same game over and over again, the same mistakes over and over again. The problems run deeper. We know that the problems go above. And you just query, unless that changes, realistically, is anything going to change? Do you know what I mean? It's just so, like you said, disheartening, I think is the word to sum it up. As a fan at the minute, it's frustrating. And I'm just, every game, I agree with you, even though it's Burnley and I hate playing Burnley, you still have that glint of excitement for a match. You think, you know what, maybe today's the day we click. Maybe today is the day that we click. And if that day just isn't coming, it just isn't coming. Like every day I think, surely today's the day. Southampton the weekend, I'm thinking, hopefully that's the day that we click. And like I say, it's going to be a tough test. But mate, how are you feeling about the Saints game at the weekend?
You know what? I'm actually worried about this game because we haven't even played that well altogether. And Southampton, they have actually switched up the game very well in certain games. You look at both the games they've played against Manchester City, for instance. They was extremely unlucky to come out of that loss for the last game against Manchester City. Come out with a draw. The first game against Manchester City, they got a draw against us at the start of the season as well. We all know that Southampton can really switch up the play, especially against the teams who are in the top half of the table. And a lot of people was considering Southampton to come out and be a flop this season, knowing that they've lost Danny Ings, knowing they've lost Vestergaard, and Ward-Prowse was near enough at his end at Southampton as well. They managed to keep Ward-Prowse, and they brought in a couple of people in there. I think the manager at Southampton is absolutely brilliant, and the way he's been able to keep that team like click is incredible, to be honest. So I'm actually extremely worried coming into this game, and if we play how we did against Burnley, Southampton are going to have a lot more chances than what Burnley has had. That is for sure. So if we are wanting to play Southampton, there's several things that do need to be changed beforehand. As managers do say, we can teach you in training, but it's about what you do on the pitch. They can teach players how to shoot from distances, shoot at angles. But if you're not doing that on the pitch, like you are doing in training, there's nothing that manager can do about that. And just as, for instance, people call out Harry Maguire, he may look absolutely brilliant in training in terms of his tackles, in terms of his one-on-ones. But then if he's not doing it on the pitch, then there's nothing none of us can really do because the players aren't caring. But we do need to make 100% changes there at Manchester United. We need to at least have 2 different changes coming into the Southampton game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's going to be extremely dangerous for us, and I think it might come out with a loss.
I hate to hear you say that, mate. Hate it. But you are right. If we're not at it, we're going to be punished, definitely. And I do think conceding stupid free kicks in and around the box, we've already mentioned Ward-Prowse there, we simply cannot be doing that. And I'm thinking of it like Maguire when I'm saying that as well, just diving stupid tackles, getting too close. We can't see that. We need to avoid that. And I've seen, is it Broja from Chelsea on loan who scored a few goals for Southampton as well? They're going to be dangerous. They're going to be dangerous for sure, and we've got to be at it. We were in a proper fight on Saturday. A very underrated side, Southampton. Harsson, who doesn't get a lot of respect for the work he puts in. Let's just hope that we can provide this season's 9-0. That's all I'm saying. Let's just hope that we can have one of them games. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm not feeling that at the moment. But yeah, he's doing a great job with them, and like I say, they're definitely not any pushovers. Meg is spot on, and don't worry, Meg. I'll purposely be getting the negativity out of the way first. We're ending the show on a positive. Don't you worry about that. And you're spot on there in terms of Mark Skinner, and of course Leo Galter with their awards, and we'll touch on that in a minute. And a massive derby game this weekend as well, which we're going to delve into. But yeah, Nat, Southampton at the weekend for the men. How are you feeling going into that game? Are you confident?
I don't know. It's at home, isn't it? So you want to be a bit more confident. You want to think that they're going to do it a bit better. I am worried, we talk about all their players, and Hasselhouten has got, I can't even know if I said his name right, but, he's got the best out of them. And Ward-Prowse, for me, he is like one of the best. Well, I don't know if you consider him as young still, but he's the best, like, one of players. I mean, I think Pep even said he's like the best free kick taker he's ever seen. And, I would have him up there like that because I do think he is great. All his set plays, his deliveries, obviously they are going to get corners, so I do think they're going to score Southampton, but
will we score from a corner this weekend? Tell me that, Nat. Will we score from a corner?
I don't know. I think, no, but listen, we did score like a set piece, and yes, it was ruled out, whatever, but I think the goal that we scored, even though they were ruled out, we can take positive from that, and that's how they should say, and they should be replaying that back to them, saying, look, positive. You scored this goal, forget what the ref and all that, VAR, next game we'll have a better VAR. But it was a good header, good cross, right on his head, that kind of thing, and, playing it back in, even whatever, for me, that was, the second one was a goal, so I think there is positives there, and there is positives in the first half, and it's just like you say, Maisie, they might be doing this one thing on training, it's about having that mentality and keep going throughout, and I don't know whether they need to speak to someone about whatever. Maybe they do, there's lots of things coming out. Rooney was saying about how he's drinking and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, because it seems like there's a lot in their head. And then, like you say, when something goes bad, it just all crumbles. So I don't know, because they need to get sort of like a bond together and believe in themselves a lot more, because they're playing for the biggest team in the world. And, Southampton, Burnley, no disrespect, we should beat them, but will we? I don't know. And like I said, no disrespect to Southampton, but I don't know. I'm always confident at home, so that's all you can say. Yeah. And I do think we should beat them, but whether we will, I don't know.
It's some of the way we're at. I don't know. Literally, I do not know, because you do not know what United is going to turn up. If we turn up the first half like we did against Berlin, they were poor in the first half. But if we played like that, like I say, more positive performance in that first half, we scored a goal from a set piece, as you mentioned, that. If we perform like that, but we also take our chances on top of that, the game could be out to Southampton's reach by half time. If we don't, they'll grow in confidence. Our heads will drop like we've seen it so often. Our heads will drop, and then Southampton will stand every chance, and they'll feel like they've got every chance at Old Trafford based on our current performances and our form, like how inconsistent we are. Of course, it's just like the Burnley game for me. I can't really predict it. I think it's going to be tight. I think there might be one goal in it. It's one of them where either we'll batter them, or we'll come out probably losing. You know what I mean? I don't think there's an in-between in this game. I think we've got to be at it, and if we're not, we'll get punished. Simple as that. Get your score predictions in for the men's game at the weekend against Southampton in the chat, and obviously we'll do ours very shortly as well. But as Meg touched on in the chat, there's positives at United. There are positives, and it links a lot to the women's team. Massive game this weekend against Man City, Manchester derby. But firstly, I'll start with you, Nat, on this one. The women so far, the game the other day, how are you feeling about them? Like, are you happy now? Because when Skinner first came in, obviously it was all a bit all over the place with the transfers and losing key players and whatnot. Are you more content now?
Yeah, more content. Still, I don't know. Because he came in, and I think he wasn't the one that everyone wanted, and it did take him a while. I think he had that new manager bounce, but then it sort of went through a really bad patch, and we lost to Chelsea by a lot, and there was a lot of draws in there. And we thought, what is the aim? What is the plan? We had a really good transfer window. Got in 3 key players, and I'm excited. I think the last game against Arsenal, even though it was a 1-1, but for me, I think we battered Arsenal. And talk about we were gutted, and people were sort of saying, oh, we shouldn't. I don't even know what people were saying, but people were saying you shouldn't feel proud. I don't even know. I didn't listen, but I felt proud because I think we usually come here and lose, and I think we've
Doesn't
won.
that show progress though?
It's definitely progress, and this is going to be tough, the derby, because I think City are back doing well again. They're going to have all their players back, but I just think that we can beat them, because I think I was worried for the Arsenal game, and Arsenal had a lot of their key players, and for me, we were the better team and we should have won. It is what it is. I think we'll take a lot of our chances now, the women as well. But I feel like that the momentum is building for positive, and I can see they've learned from the mistakes last year, and hopefully they go on and get the Champions League football that we all want this year.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. And I think this City game as well, you touched on a bit there, but the pressure's all on them. For us, obviously, we're kind of exceeding expectations after the start of the season that we had to how we are now. The momentum is with us. We should be feeling confident going into that, especially after getting that draw at Arsenal, as you said, which is a good point. It is to play to the situation and the context, obviously, with it down to 10 and whatnot. But if you look at it from the outside, if you were going there beforehand, you probably would have said, you know what, a draw wouldn't be too bad of a result. Do you know what I mean? So I think we have to take confidence from that. Man City, look, they're a quality team, but realistically, United should be looking at them and thinking, you know what, if we get at them, you should fancy our chances. And like I say, I think more pressure is on them going into this game. United, if you get a win, obviously it's a bonus, isn't it? If you don't, then it's kind of what people expected. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I mean it really, like being factual. We should be going into this game thinking, you know what, let's go at them. Let's attack them. Let's throw everything at them and see if they can handle it. And if they can, fair enough. But I doubt that. I really doubt. I think on our day we can beat anybody. And I'd love us to beat City, mate.
Yeah, I would absolutely love for us to beat City. We've actually not lost against City this season. We're going to be playing City minimum 4 this season. It's also depending on how far the FA Cup. But we've got them in the FA Cup in a couple of weeks. We've got them in the league on Sunday. We've had them in the Conti Cup, and we've also had them there in the league early on in the season. And if you look at it, we've had 1 draw, 1 win. So you can take that as a positive as well. And I think the mentality in terms of our team is a lot better to think only a couple of seasons ago, we was losing against the Arsenals, we was losing against the Cities, we was losing against the Chelseas. And I think we've got over that mentality stage in terms of the Cities and the Arsenals to think we have got these 3 points now, we have got this win off this team now. So yeah, we can go and win against them again. And I think that's what happened with Arsenal with the Conti Cup. We got that win. So we was able to think, right, okay, we got that win last game. So we'll be able to get this win now. And I think that's how we did play against Arsenal, to think we can win this team, rather than having that little bit more timid to think, I don't know what's going to go on here kind of thing. And I think knowing as well now with Manchester City, especially the last game, come out with a win, I think it does show to this team, yes, we can win them, so we can get far in that. And when we've got the team on paper, our team has been absolutely brilliant. We're playing a lot more of Hayley Ladd, a proper CDM for the team, which really impacts the squad overall. It helps in terms of Katie Zellum being able to be her box-to-box midfielder to play how she wants to play, and seeing the likes of Bo Risa playing as well, who is a different kind of creative midfielder who is a bit different compared to the other midfielders at Manchester United, compared to, of course, Ella Toon, Leah Galton. She's a different kind of midfielder for me, and I think she is a midfielder what is quite impactful, especially against this Manchester City team. But I do definitely fancy our chances against Manchester City. Yes, they have got some of the players back, such as Lucy Bronze, but we have got 2 of the best fullbacks in the league. We've got Hannah, we've got Honor. Who's Lucy Bronze? Well, we've got these 2 players.
Lucy Gold, silver, bronze. I don't care who it is. Defenders. I'm one of them. I don't care who it is. But no, you are right. We've got some players, obviously, who, to be fair, have surprised me in terms of this season. I wasn't expecting us to be as strong as we have been, really. And you mentioned players like Ella Toon as well, who I think have just been outstanding. Like, yeah, Tooney, she's been class. She's been absolutely class. And I'm going to throw this question to you both. Who do you think has been the standout player this season then for the women's team? Like, who would you say has been your player of the year so far? And there's been a few. I know there's been a few. But even thinking, like, who surprised you the most then?
Well, I think Honor's always up there, been class. You know, Maisie touched on Hayley Ladd. I think we win with Hayley Ladd. Hayley Ladd is that number 6 that, you know, we probably, I saw someone saying about the men's team are crying out for Hayley Ladd, and I just feel like Laddinator, she dictates it. But if you're going to say player of the year, for me, it's Tooney, mate. It's all about Tooney, and I think she had a great season last year. She just come off the back of that and just done even better. I think she's got like 5 goals, 6 assists, and she plays as a number 10. She's been playing on the right. For me, those numbers, they're up there. There's top assist maker alongside Fran Kirby. I think she's like 3rd or 4th. Goals scored. You know, it's when she gets on the ball too, as well. Yeah, and creating all the chances.
She's just so positive, so direct. You can see, like, she's always looking forward. And I love that about her. I think for too long now you've seen players who prefer to go backwards and not play that risky pass or not try and do something. Like whereas her, she gets on the ball and gets not letting you see it, like something's going to happen. Like she's one of them players that makes you want to do that. And I'd agree. I think she's definitely been a standout this season. Maze, what's your thoughts? Who's been the surprise package for you?
Dooney has definitely been one for me, but I'm gonna go something a little bit different for Nat because a player who has really stood out for me is Mannion. I do definitely believe that Mannion has been a standout buy for Manchester United. She was that kind of player that we needed, and we never really truly knew we needed her until she actually got into the squad. For me, she's definitely been a crucial player at Manchester United. She, despite her, of course, having them injuries at Manchester City being dropped, she's played an awful lot of minutes for Manchester United, obviously in a good way. She's she apart from the Arsenal game, she played every single minute for Manchester United. So it shows her work rate. Her leadership in the back four is absolutely brilliant. She commands the back line, and there isn't many players who can really get past Mannion in terms of strikers, in terms of midfielders. Not many can truly get past Mannion. And for me, I think she's been an absolute rock in that defence. So all praises there for Mannion, and I'm absolutely over the moon that we have bought her.
Yeah, she has started really well in the United shirt. Apart from obviously getting turned inside out the other day. We won't talk about that too much, but that was just class forward play, to be fair, from Harder. Like, it was just quality. Next to that, Mary Earps, and someone else mentioned, Andrew there mentioned Mary Earps as well, some great saves. And you are right, like, women's football and goalkeepers, they get criticised a lot, but Mary Earps, you find it hard to criticise her. I think she's quality. And she seems to be getting better and better as well, the more experience she gets. So I think, yeah, she definitely has to have a mention as a standout. What about the men's? Like, who's your standout? Because for me, it's the goalkeeper again. Straight up, I'm saying De Gea is my standout this season. I don't know about you two, but for me, he's been the most consistent player we've had.
Yeah, David saved us, isn't he? You know, we're talking about Mary. Mary made some fantastic saves versus Arsenal, but David is just making fantastic save after save, and player of the month this month, and without David's saves, where would we be? Who knows? I mean, I know people sort of iffy over Ronaldo, but I think as well, we sort of touched on it, didn't we, earlier on? About a lot of his goals, where would we be as well? So it's a difficult one, but yeah, David, it's not. I don't know. I love, and no disrespect to any goalkeepers, I love my goalkeepers. They're great, but for me, it should be. It shouldn't be. I don't know. I'm a bit harsh on them, maybe. I'm sorry. It's just. I think of Roy Keane. It's your job, save the ball, and no, that's harsh, and that I shouldn't be like that. But
that we've got to record a video of me and Maze and Meg taking shots at you in goal.
Yeah, I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish in goal, and I used to be a keeper as well, and I'm rubbish. Listen, I know I'm rubbish. Yeah, and I know it's not just that, and yeah, they do deserve praise, and I think both our keepers, men and women, are quality. But I don't know. Yeah,
he's definitely been the busiest player we've had this season.
Yeah,
to be fair, he's probably done more running, more running than a lot of the outfield players that we've had. Heat map, De Gea is bigger than a few of our outfield players. But yeah, I think De Gea has to be. Maze, would you agree with De Gea for your player of the year so far for you guys? For the men?
By far, De Gea has definitely been the best player, even under Ollie and Ralph, who was by far the best player. You do look at it, I think he's got one of the highest saves in the Premier League so far this season as well. I think the players who are quite high, you've got Melier there, you've got Jose Sarr there as well. And I do look at it, yes, it's a good thing for De Gea. He's got one of the most saves in the Premier League. But then I think I'm on this other point and think, what does that really say about our defence? Letting in so many attackers trying to get in there to actually try and shoot against De Gea. So to him, I think he's had like over 70 saves so far. So it truly says a lot in terms of our plays in itself. But under Ralph, there has been a couple of standout players there as well. And I do want to give praises there for Tellez and Dalot since Ralph, because I think Dalot, he actually never had a look in terms of games. At all, apart from obviously if Wan-Bissaka was injured, and Wan-Bissaka rarely ever got injured. And I think he was absolutely brilliant coming in. Ralph has identified that we need this modern day kind of fullback where we can't rely on just tackles there from Wan-Bissaka to keep us in the game, because we need these fullbacks to go forward as well. And knowing that both our fullbacks were out of form, Ralph was able to identify that, get that switched around. And I think both of them, for me, have been quite great under Ralph, in my opinion. But De Gea has definitely been my player of the season. But I just wanted to shout them two out as well since under Ralph.
Yeah, I think Telles and Delo have done well. I think given a chance after they've come in. I'll be honest, I still think I prefer Luke Shaw. I don't think Luke Shaw's been an amazing form, don't get me wrong, and I think he's still got to improve. But I think overall, I'm not sold on Telles being the finished article at the left back. And at right back again, Delo, I think he offers a bit more than Wan-Bissaka on the ball. Wan-Bissaka, I've said it many times, like he's running on stilts at times. It's frustrating because going forward, he just isn't good enough. Defensively, 1v1, there's no one better than Wan-Bissaka, but to play for Man United, he needs to be able to do both. And when I look at Delo, I'll be honest, I don't look at him and think he's the finished article yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I still think there's development years with him, and I'd still fully support signing a right back 100%. A player that I would love, and even so, you probably still say he's a prospect player, but Lamptey from Brighton, I would love to snap him up. I think he's one of these players that I think in the future will regret it if we don't snap him up now. Young, ambitious, direct, very quick, and I just think he's a player that if we could get him early and develop him, he could be one of the best right backs in the league for sure. So Lamptey is a player that I would love us to sign, and I wouldn't be against us signing a right back. We were linked with Trippier, and I'll be honest, I wasn't totally against that as well, because I feel Wan-Bissaka has been frustrating. Delo I think is decent, but I don't think he's the finish. But I will say under Ralph, him and Telles, when given a chance, they haven't disappointed. I think they've played decently well, 100%. And they deserve a mention because they haven't played for a long, long time. Obviously, it's been nailed on. It's been Shaw and Wan-Bissaka for a long time. And they've had this opportunity, this rare opportunity, and they kept the place in the team. So you have to give them credit for that. It's not easy to do that, is it? But yeah, the women's, we can smile about. There's a lot more positivity, but the men's, we're hoping they can change our mood this weekend, 100%. I did say I'll get your score prediction, so we'll start with the men's first. We'll leave the women's because I feel like that's going to be a bit more of an interesting prediction, being a derby game. So we'll leave the women's till last. So we'll start with the men's. We've got a 3-2 to United from Reece here. Noel said 2-1. Andrew said 2-1. Show said 1-1. Coming to you girls. Might as well start with you on this one. What's your score prediction for the Saints game?
I actually think it's going to come out with a draw, if you want me to be honest. I think we'll score first half. It'll either be Bruno or Sancho, and I think we'll concede in the second half. So I think it's going to be a 1-1.
1-1. Niall said 2-1. Meg's gone for a 3-2 as well. They're all close. It's like one game in it on everyone's predictions. Nobody's thinking, it's going to be a 3-0. No one's predicting a clean sheet, to be fair. I'm not surprised by that. Nat, how are you feeling?
I hate to say. In my head, I'm probably thinking, it's going to be a draw. What Maisie says, probably even a loss. I don't know, but my heart just can't do it. And I think I'm going to go with Meg 3-2 United. It's going to be really, really close. It's going to be really tight. I don't even know why I think 3. I just think we're going to get those goals back that we were robbed of. It's at home.
We hope.
That's the positive. We did score 3 goals at Burnley, so that is positive. But we're going to concede. Definitely. There's no way that we're not going to concede. It'll be from a corner and a free kick, probably. There you go. I know exactly. They're going to score the way that they're going to score more than another way that we're going to score. That's what But what I will say, Sancho, player of the match for me. That's what I think.
It feels like for him, like he's clicking now, isn't he? Like you say, look, still some of his touches and that, but you need that like over a 90-minute period now. He started the game really well the other night. I'm hoping that he can, a goal would be nice for him, boost his confidence even more, but definitely he's coming into his own, isn't he? And it's nice to see that, like you say, he's more like the player that we believe we were signing, and fair play to him. And Meg, I totally agree. I said that earlier. Wouldn't it be nice if we get the annual 9-0 against Southampton, against Hasenhüttl? Let's hope it does this weekend. That would definitely put a smile on my face. But as we've already said, we're not confident we're keeping a clean sheet, and I'm definitely not confident that we're going to score 9. I'm scraping the barrel of think we're going to score 3 at this rate, 2 at this rate, even 1. We'll see. We'll see what happens. My prediction, to be fair, I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think it'll be tight. I think we might have to ride our luck a little bit. Hopefully, one of them VAR decisions comes our way, like Nat says. But yeah, I'm not sitting here thinking it's going to be. Might not even fitted to watch, but it's business end of the season. It's all about the results now. That's more important than the performance. We want to get top 4. We want to get Champions League again next year. We're going to have to fight for that. We're going to have to scrap for it. yeah, games like this are really important, and that's why the Burnley one was so good in the other day. As Nat said, it's not being disrespectful, but obviously we're talking about the fact that Burnley, Southampton, we've got Brighton coming up as well. These are games that we should be winning. You look at our team on paper, we should be winning these games. So something needs to change. We need to start taking these chances, and we need to control games a bit more. We haven't seen us controlling the game. Like I say, we always look vulnerable on that counter attack or from set pieces. We look like we're going to concede. Fingers crossed this weekend. It is that day that we finally click. That's what we're hoping for. But I'm going to go for a 2-1. I like what Nat said about Sancho. Hopefully, I would love us to score. I'm going to say Varane's going to get his first goal this weekend. I'm going to say that Varane's going to get his first goal, and it's going to be given as well. It's not going to be disallowed. Varane's going to score. That's my little cheeky little prediction there. But Manchester derby for the ladies on Sunday. This game is massive in terms of where we're going to finish in terms of the league. Obviously, at the moment we're in the top 3. Spurs just behind us. Obviously, Chelsea just ahead of us. If we could cement our place in that top 3, get Champions League football, like we said, for the club it would be fantastic. For Skinner it would be amazing as well. Him and Leo Goulton just picking up their awards, you'd think would give us even more confidence going into that. Obviously, in the chat, let us know your predictions as well. But Nat, I'll start with you on this one. Like, how are you thinking going into this? Like, do you think we can beat City?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we need to believe that we can. I'm nervous. I don't know. I'm confident, but I'm not confident. So I don't know. I don't know. 2-1 Man United.
2-1. Show it hasn't. Leicester beat them 9-0 as well. We beat them and Leicester beat them. That's why I said the annual. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how I'm going to call this one. I think this is such a hard game to call because I think we could turn up and, like I say, if we go at them, I think we could cause them trouble. But at the same time, if they're up for it, I don't want to see our heads dropping. Do you know what I mean? If we concede an early goal, for example, that's the worst possible thing that could happen to us because City, we know, will take advantage of that. But after how we've played against, especially against the bigger teams this season, like surely we should be thinking, you know what, we were in with a chance here against City. Mais, what about you? How are you feeling going into it?
You've got to be confident going in, especially knowing the form that we have been in terms of our away games. We've not lost an away game yet so far in the league. So you look at things like that, which is a positive. We've only conceded, 4 goals in the past 9-10 games. So stuff like that is so positive, and 2 of them only being on only 2 of them we've actually conceded. So I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 for Manchester United. I think it's always dependent on the kind of team Gareth Taylor comes out with because he hasn't really been playing white recently. Of course, that's going to be advantage Manchester United. I think the only real threat at Manchester City is Lauren Hemp at this moment in time. So I will definitely go for 2-1 Manchester United, and I think Mark Skinner will definitely look at putting this A game on because I think this game in particular, it will be more of that crucial for the top 3. I think if we do lose or draw this game, it opens a lot more opportunities for Manchester City, for Reading as well, and Spurs. So I think if you get these 3 points, it's just going to cement our space more than ever in the top 3.
Yeah, and it's all about getting into that top 3 now, isn't it? For us, we're there. We want to stay there. And we need to obviously, especially in games like this, we need to stick through that. You know what? I'm going to predict a draw for this one. I think it's going to be tight. And I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1. And I think, again, like I said, with the men's team, I think we might have to ride our luck, as will they. I think it's going to be a very tight, cagey game. But I think we're going to match City. I think it's going to be one of them where we're going to cancel each other out of the way. And I think we're going to kind of match them. Neither team's going to want to lose it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd take that, I'd take a draw now. If you gave me a draw now. I said that against Arsenal. If you gave me a draw now, I'd take it. But then I was so disappointed that we didn't win. But I would take a draw now because I think we're 5 points ahead of them. And I think if we get a draw, we'd still be 5 points, wouldn't we? But, for me, 5 points is a lot of points. And it's not like, we've only really got Chelsea coming up at the end of the season. They can easily drop points. For me, I'd take the draw now, but if we got that win, like what Maisie said, for me, I'm partying, mate. I'm booking my flights. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm booking them.
Anywhere.
Europe. I'm booking them. That's where I'm going. I'm ready.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous for it, but I'm also looking forward to it. It's one of them, isn't it? But like as Maisie said, we've got to be feeling confident going into that game after the draw against Arsenal as well. Come on, United. That's what I'm saying. Come on, United. And how nice would it be to have a positive weekend for both the men and the women this weekend? that would be a nice feeling, wouldn't it? So fingers crossed that is the case. But girls, it's been a fantastic show. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Like I say, Ladies in Red will be back. I think Meg will be joining us as well, and that's going to be our panel for the Ladies in Red shows. We're hoping that Thursday suits you guys because it suits us to a T. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Nat, I'll start with you. Thank you for jumping on. I know it's a bit late. I know you both had a stream just before this, so I appreciate you both jumping on. But yeah, let people know where they can find you, mate.
Yeah, at Natalie_17. Hit me up, Natty B on Instagram. Just, always talking about the women and the men, but mostly the women.
Why not? You can smile a bit
Yeah.
then at the minute. Why not do it? I don't blame you. But yeah, make sure you go and check out Nat. Obviously, a lot of content on All for United as well. Like she said, a lot for the women's game, which I think is fantastic. Of course, the famous United fans chanting. I loved it watching that. I think it was a Chelsea game I was watching. I could just hear Nat clearly on the FA player. I was watching it and I could just hear Nat, and I was like, yeah, I love that. Love that. Can that port it? So yeah, go and check out Nat's content. And of course, the lovely Mais, thank you so much again for joining me. Let people know about your channel and congrats. I know you've just hit 500 subs as well, so well done to you. But yeah, let people know where they can find you, Mais.
Thank you for having me on, Soph. It's been a brilliant show, and it's been good to speak to Natalie as well on the stream too. My YouTube channel is Devils United. I do all Manchester United content, both for the men and the women's football. Just as Soph has said, I've just hit 500 subscribers, which is brilliant. And you can find me on my Twitter, which is @2_MUFC Maze.
Make sure you go and give Mais a follow and go and give her a sub on her channel as well. Great work. Well done to you. Fantastic. But yeah, these two ladies are great for both the men's and the women's game. But I'm going to shout the women's out as well in particular because I think like at the moment, the way that it's going for United ladies, like if we could just jump on that and just really big them up. And like I say, a lot of negatives coming out of the club. How nice is it that the ladies at the moment are the shining light? Like it's really nice to have that, isn't it? So yeah, make sure you go and follow them. As always, hit the sub button if you're new, of course, on Ladies in Red. Hit a like on the video. If I have missed your comments, I always check afterwards, so drop a comment there. I'm Soph Richo on Twitter, Soph Richo with a kiss on the end of it on Instagram. I'll make sure I post everyone's socials in the description afterwards as well. But yeah, it's been a great show. I've loved it. Have a lovely rest of the evening. We will see you soon. Take care.